Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. My name is Ginger Pierce, and I am one of the travel agents with Marvelous Mouse Travels. We are the agency that runs this group, as well as several others on Facebook focused on different destinations. And we are also an earmarked platinum authorized Disney vacation planner. Welcome to Sundays with MMT. This is a weekly live agent panel video series that we do in one of our groups. And we are so excited to be in our Disney World group tonight talking about the best time to visit Disney World. This is one of the most common questions that we get as agents. And so we're really excited to discuss it with you tonight. Also, we do want to reserve some time at the end of our broadcast to answer your questions. So if at any point you have a question during what we're sharing with you, go ahead and feel free to drop that in the comments, and we will get to all of those questions at the end of our video. We are going live using a program called StreamYard. And so StreamYard may prompt you to grant permission for it to display your username and profile picture, but you can deny that permission and you can still post your question as an anonymous user, and we'll be able to still answer it and interact with you that way. So I'm joined tonight by three amazing MMT agents. Ladies, thank you all so much for being here tonight. And please take just a second to introduce yourself, share how long you've been with the agency, and what's the best way for people to get in touch with you if they'd like to plan a vacation.
So my name is Brittany DeMezier. I have been with the agency since 2017. Before that, I actually worked as a cast member at Walt Disney World in the Living with the Land greenhouses. The best way to get in contact with me is through my Facebook page at Travels by Brittany. So that's me.
I'm Amy Grunt. I've been with the agency for a little over 3 years. The best way to get in touch with me is via email, amy.grunt@marvelousmousetravels.com, or on my Facebook page, it's Amy Grunt MMT.
Hi everyone, my name is Jenna Conkle. I've been with the agency for a little over 2 years now, and like Brittany, I was also a former cast member. I did the college program in 2010. Best way to get in touch with me is via email. My email is on the screen. It's jenna@marvelousmousetravels.com.
And again, I'm Ginger. I have been with the agency since May of 2018. And the best way to get in touch with me is actually my Linktree page, which is gingermmt.com. You can also check me out on YouTube. That's probably my primary social media account, and that's youtube.com/gingermmt. I mentioned earlier, ladies, that one of the most common questions that we get as agents is, when is the best time to plan my trip to Disney? Like what time should I travel? And the answer that I always give to clients when they pose that question is, well, it depends on what you mean by best, because the best time can mean different things to different people. Like for me personally, the best time to go is when the weather is the most temperate, because as we all know, Florida is notoriously hot. And so I like to personally plan my trips during a time when it's not, peak heat. So for people who are like me and the best time for them has to do with the weather, what do you think is the best time to travel?
So I always tell people September is the best time to go. After Labor Day weekend, it seems like everything is just a lot more calm. It's still warm, so you're needing to wear layers and jackets and things like that. But September and early October are an awesome time to go if you're looking for temperate weather. And usually by that point, the afternoon rain showers have kind of tapered off a little bit. So that's nice too. You don't have to bring a poncho every day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big fan of March. It's a little bit cooler. You could still use a little light sweatshirt at night. And I just prefer the more tempered heat, or not as hot as in the midsummer months.
Mm-hmm.
I live in Orlando, so I go often to the park. But I'm originally from Wisconsin, and I have a lot of clients that are from family and friends and everything that are from Wisconsin. So for them, because the winter can be very cold and extreme in that sense. Usually for them, I always say, hey, plan something so that you have something to look forward to get out of the freezing cold, and come to visit park in like February or March.
Yeah, for me personally, I'm from Tennessee, so I'm used to heat, I'm used to humidity. But Florida heat and Florida humidity is obviously a little bit different level than what we have even in the South where I'm from. But I feel like for me, the weather sweet spot is kind of between like November and March. Like really anytime in that range, you're gonna get it's still gonna be warm typically, but it's not gonna be like, surface of the sun. That said, I do still travel to the parks in June and July, because I mean, I can be hot here at home or I can be hot at Disney World, and I'm going to pick Disney World. So,
Agree.
Yeah,
for sure.
absolutely. And definitely, it's just something to consider with your trip. Like, you don't have to say, oh, I can't go because the only time I have available to travel is July. Like, Ginger, I know you're a teacher. Like,
Mhm.
for teachers, sometimes you don't have the option. Like, you can
Right.
only come in the summer. So it's not that you need to avoid it by any means, but at least then you know like what to prepare for. Like, bring
Yeah.
cooling towels or bring a fan or whatever's going to make it more manageable for you. And like plan to do something like the water park if it's available, or make sure you go on the water rides, to break up your day or whatnot. So you just kind of plan your trip a little bit differently too, if
Mhm.
that's the only time you can go.
Yeah, of course. And, beat the heat strategies, cooling towels, fans are a great option. We got these little like personal fans that you wear around your neck, off of Amazon. And those things were awesome. They made such a difference. Hydration is really important. And also, too, I try to schedule dining reservations, like indoor dining reservations
Mhm.
during the hottest part of the day. And that way you're getting a little bit of a break to sit down in the air conditioning, drink some water, and then get back out there.
That's a great tip.
Yeah. So I am actually getting ready to leave for Disney World on Thursday. We're heading down for a trip. It's
Awesome.
Evan and I, my husband, our kids, and my parents are coming
Nice.
with us. We're really excited. And I'm very excited to go because I love all of the holiday stuff that they have going on. And, for a lot of people, that is the best time for them. Maybe it has to do with what types of special events are offered. So for people who want to travel when there's special events or holiday offerings, when would be the best time for them to go?
I actually just got back yesterday. We were down for the past week, and it is amazing at Christmas time. For not to sound cheesy, but it is so magical at Christmas. It's one of my favorite times to go for sure.
I agree. Now, obviously, this picture was taken in 2019, pre-COVID, because nobody has masks and the crowd levels are quite different from how they are right now. But I agree, it's such a magical time at Christmas, and also, too, this one is from last year.
Yeah, there's so many fun things. I mean, if you're big Halloween fans and Halloween has special decorations, and I mean, even I feel like Epcot has something going on special all the time. Like, I feel like I don't even know, like maybe only in summers, but still in summers, it feels like there's food and wine festival, and I mean, they have the art festival, and they have so much going on. Like, I love Flower and Garden. Like,
Mhm.
oh yeah, see, there's one at Flower and Garden. Like, that's one of my favorites. I love seeing the topiaries. Like, they're amazing. So I that's one of my favorites as well.
The art festival is really great at Epcot as well. We were able to go a couple times and got some really cool art pieces, and they have the food booths and all that stuff, same as, Flower and Garden and Food and Wine, but
Mhm.
it's a really neat festival to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, food and wine is my personal favorite. I love going and trying all the different foods from all over the world and getting a chance to try things that maybe I wouldn't otherwise. Because if you've been before, it gives you some kind of small plates and gives you a chance to sample some things. And that was the first time I ever had escargot was at Food and Wine. So it was pretty fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. That's my favorite. That's my favorite festival as well. And I feel like every year Food and Wine gets a little bit longer. Like I think that's everybody's favorite. So it's like they keep bumping it more and more into like the summer months. But and obviously this year is different. Because typically some of those seasonal offerings that have been going on for years, like Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party or Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, those are not happening this year. But, when we look into the future at some point, we hope that life will go back to normal again and we would get to experience those things again. So if you're planning a trip, a couple of years in the future, that might very well be an option on the table too. You could take advantage of the Christmas party or the Halloween party or something like that too. So we've talked about the best time to travel for those who are looking for good weather. And we've also talked a little bit about the best time to travel for people who want a lot of activities. But let's talk budget. What is the best time for people to plan a trip if they are looking to get the best deal for their vacation?
That's such a hard question because it seems like when Disney comes out with promotions, they're usually pretty specific on dates. Mm-hmm. If people ask me that, I usually tell them you're probably going to need to be flexible, but this is also a point in time where it's really important to use a travel agent because even if you are booked and a promotion does come out and they know that you're flexible on dates or resorts, once that promotion does come out, we can get you switched around and moved around even sometimes before you get to work in the morning. So
for sure. Right now, Disney does have some really good promotions available for early 2021. And so that could potentially be something to look at too if you're looking for a budget. But I'm with Brittany. I totally agree that I think plan the trip for when you can go, when you want to go, and then your agent can work with you to find the best deal. And it might be a matter of moving those dates a little bit. But if you have a general window in mind, then typically there is some sort of promotion that could apply. It may not be the same year round because obviously there are peak seasons and things like that. But you can usually find at least a small percentage off or something like that. Anybody else want to say anything about that one?
The weekdays when you're staying on site at the resort, the weekdays tend to be less for the hotel night because they do it like they do price it per night. So it's not just the same rate for all nights of the trip typically. So looking at weekdays is generally a little bit more favorable on your budget. And then also again, like those off-peak times, definitely you can, it does make a difference now with tickets as well because tickets are now date-based. So you also can kind of piece it together by looking at, the price of the tickets before even looking at the hotel sometimes. But again, it is a lot to piece together. So most of the time, just contacting a travel agent is just, they take the work away from you. So it's just nice to be able to offer that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So let's talk about what probably most people mean when they say, when is the best time to go to Disney World? And that's crowd levels. So in your opinion, when is the best time to go if you are looking to avoid as much of the crowds as possible?
I would say avoid the big holidays when the kids don't have school, when summer vacation, President weekend, like all that time. Because everybody that can't go any other times will go at that time. And I feel like it tends to be a lot busier during those special holiday times.
Mm-hmm. I know I've said it before and I'll say it again. Fall is an awesome time to go. Crowd levels in September and early October are usually pretty low. One thing that did catch me off guard, this is actually in September this year. One thing that did catch me off guard when I was working at Disney was so a lot of people go over the holidays between Christmas and New Year's, but January 2nd, I was like, where'd all the people go? There was nobody there anymore. So like right after the Christmas season, great time to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
The winter.
Yeah, because that's what a lot of people don't realize is that the busiest week of the year at Disney World is that week between Christmas and New Year's. I think a lot of people expect that the busiest week would be spring break or in the summer or something, but it's actually that Christmas week. But I completely agree that right after that or right before that, both of those can be good times to go.
Mm-hmm.
And if you
Anything
want
else?
to travel, I think like if you're kind of strategic about it, and again have some flexibility with your dates, you still can go when the decorations are up for Christmas. Like if you are really into Christmas, you want to see all the decorations and special event stuff that's going on. If you travel like the first week of December, so like right after Thanksgiving, generally, you'll find lower crowds then. But again, those are all like tips that your travel agent can give you of like, oh, hey, you want to go at that time? Okay, but here's when it'd be lowest crowds. And you don't have to figure that out. I do have a lot of people that contact me for February because, like I said, a lot of my clients are from Wisconsin and want to travel, during the winter time. And a lot of people don't expect President's Weekend to be really busy, and that is one of the busiest weekends. So you know, it is good to have somebody else's expertise, on those days.
Mhm, for sure.
This past week when we were there, the crowd levels were definitely up a little more than when we were there in the summer, July and August. But the wait times were always a little bit less than what was posted, and it really wasn't that crowded. It was a great time to go.
Yeah, and that's one thing. And I mean, we obviously have to talk about the current situation. And we realize, of course, that not everyone is comfortable traveling right now. Some people don't have the option to travel right now because of stay-at-home orders in their area or perhaps their job situation. But if you are comfortable traveling right now and if you have the ability to do so, the crowd levels are obviously historically low at this point because Disney is capping capacity. And so, this does present an opportunity if avoiding crowds is, number one on your priority list. It might be worth it to you to travel at this point in time and take advantage of those capacity limits. But again, of course, everyone has to make the decision that is best for their situation and their health and everything else too. And we, of course, support that 100%. But if you're comfortable traveling and if you have that option, this can obviously be a good opportunity to have those historically low crowds. We traveled over September. I think it was the third week of September when we were there, and the crowd levels were nothing I've ever seen before. Even in some of the after hours events, we have done the Villains After Hours, which is a separate ticketed event. And this is actually from the Villains event in 2019. And obviously the crowds here for this ticketed event are incredibly low, looking at Tomorrowland and Main Street. But even at those special ticketed events like Mickey's Not So Scary or Very Merry Christmas Party or this after hours event, I have never been able to just walk on Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. And I was able to walk on it twice back in September. We got there right before the park opened and we walked on, rode it without a wait, and then we got off and we walked right back on and rode it again. And for people who are familiar with Disney, that doesn't happen with that attraction ever. And so,
Right.
that was definitely something cool to experience. So I think we're going to try and see if we have any questions here that have come in. So let me click on our comments here. See if anyone has any. I don't think I'm seeing any question. Oh, wait. Let's see here. Oh. I think my video feed might be frozen here. Let's see. All right. So we have one question here. Have lots of fun. I love the holiday stuff too. Oh, thank you so much for that. I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited about that. And is it true if you go October 31st, then the next day, November 1st, is Christmas? I've heard you can get the two. And let's let our former cast members answer that question. What do you guys think?
It kind of depends on how the holiday falls. So I know one year they actually had a Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party on November 1.
Mhm.
So obviously that was not the case. But yeah, if you schedule a trip kind of around that week, it is possible that you can experience both the Halloween stuff and Christmas all in one fell swoop. They're pretty swift at getting that stuff up.
They are. Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's see.
it is a lot though. It's a lot to take down and put up. So it definitely does seem like it happens overnight, but it does take a couple days. So you do have to give it, some time. But yes, definitely if you're staying a week, it's possible.
Yeah, for sure. How are crowds in late January, early February? Personally, I think that's a great time to go for crowds. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I'd agree.
I agree.
The only thing with the, January is the weather can be a little unpredictable. So, sometimes in January we are wearing winter jackets here. And then sometimes it's, 70s and gorgeous. So you just have to plan for the weather. But like crowd wise is great.
That sounds like Tennessee, like every day. You never know. You never know. Like it could be cold, it could be hot. It's 30-degree differential in one day. Who knows? Let's see. Oh, what is the after hours party? So that is a special ticketed event that they offer certain times during the year. Now, obviously, they didn't this year because they were closed during the time that typically that event would take place. But there's capped capacity for those events, and there is also like special like themed elements. So I know on the Villains After Hours there was a special Villains stage show. There was special villain themed treats. There were special photo opportunities and different things like that. And different, they play villain themed music and everything like that. So it's kind of like a way to be in the parks after they have closed to regular day guests and to have the opportunity to enjoy the rides with a lower wait and also to do some of those other special things.
They're really amazing, the after hours things. Every time there is one and we're down there, we always try to hit one because it's just an awesome experience, like you said, to get on and off the run. It's just the park's empty practically.
Yeah. And they have them when, during a typical year, obviously they have them for Magic Kingdom, Animal Kingdom, and Hollywood Studios. As of right now, there's not one for Epcot. But then again, Epcot is in such a state of change right now. Who knows what the future might hold for Epcot as things open up. Yeah. See, woohoo. Thank you all. Oh, thank you for watching. We appreciate it very much. And thank you for the information. Awesome. I think that's all the questions that we have. So thank you so much to everybody for watching tonight. And even if you are watching you're seeing this after it's gone live, you can still drop those questions in the comments and we will come back and answer those for you even after the fact. Our vacation planning services, if you do choose to book your trip through a travel agent, our services are completely free to you if you book through us, and you do not pay any more to book through us than you would pay just to book your trip on Disney's website yourself. And so if you have any questions or you would like to reach out to any of the agents that you heard from tonight about a trip, go ahead and do that. We will put their contact information again in the comments section if you want to come back to that and reach out to anybody that you heard from for a free, no obligation quote. We are actually going to be taking next Sunday off from Sundays with MMT because, as I mentioned earlier, I will actually be in Disney Disney World this week. So I'm really excited to get to go and do that. But we will be back on December 27th, and we will be live in our all-inclusive group talking about the Platinum Protocols of Cleanliness at Sandals and Beaches Resorts. And then we will be in our Universal Orlando group on January 3rd. I'm so excited about this topic. We're talking about travel agent myths debunked. So we're going to take some of the common misconceptions that we hear about working with a travel agent, and we're going to talk about what it's really like to work with a travel agent. So if you're thinking about planning a trip and you're not really sure if you want to try to go it on your own or if you want to reach out to a vacation professional, definitely check out that live, because we will be focusing on that topic. So I'm going to check one more time for questions. I don't think we've had any last minute ones come in. So thank you so much for joining us, and we hope to see you on December 27th for our next episode of Sundays with MMT. Bye, everybody.